So we're calling Bank of America because of the incidents that are happening. I want you guys to know that what fraudulent is and what people are doing to get into your account. These banks tell you do not give out your bank information whatsoever for any reason. If somebody sends you money or wants to send you money, they need to be able to download the Cash app. This is why it's important to not have illegal immigrants in here, because they're going to take advantage of the citizens that are vulnerable, like the African American community that don't have money, don't have resources. They're the reason why the country is unsafe, because they are using them. If the country doesn't support and build colored programs, these are the people that they're targeting because they're the most vulnerable. So they're using their names and things like that to create fake checks and things like that to get them funds, to get them either. Sometimes they won't even give them money, but that's the business deal that they do with them. They use fake checks and they use credit card scams to get money. But this is the government's fault for not providing enough assistance, not providing enough finances. $1,000 is not enough to survive. People having to make phone calls to do all this. There needs to be one big program that is going to support the people that are looking for that support. That's how you're going to make America safe again. Talking about the airplanes and everything doesn't mean anything to us when we're not safe. Okay, you guys are safe. You're covered. We don't want to keep talking about you guys. We don't want to keep talking about the police all day long. There's nothing they can do for us except they're arresting people, showing up. You know what I mean? The thing is, Donald Trump needs to stop talking about everything else in other countries and do as he said. When he said America first, you have to deal with the details down here. You're not just a Republican president. You're not a you're a president of all of the entire country. So you have to make sure, but I do understand if people don't communicate to Donald Trump about what's going on, he's not going to make those differences. And that's where I come in. That's where you're supposed to come in. I don't know what you guys are sleeping. You're probably all frauds, right? You want to make America safe again? You have to be able to report the issues. No, they're not going to make ICE stop. They're not. And then people that graduate from colleges and universities are the ones that are supposed to take on these jobs, these government jobs, et cetera, et cetera. But they shouldn't charge more than the company can pay, right? The government's supposed to pay people that are social workers to be professionals, right? Make sure they're professionals and they're properly trained. You're supposed to hire citizens. You're supposed to hire permanent residents, people that do have their paperwork. Why? If not, these people that come from foreign countries are going to try to take advantage of you the best way they can. They're trying to build a relationship, but they're doing it in a fraudulent way until you stop them. So I have this guy that's asking me to give me access to my computer system. When somebody gets access to your computer system, they can delete very valuable information. So thank God Apple and Google is not allowing it. They're not having it, right? So if you get into a car accident, so this is Geico's scam. So Geico probably hired this guy to try to scam me so they can delete the content that I have on my phone. So I don't have evidence. So I don't win a case. Geico could be doing this. Believe me, they pay their own employees to do the dirty work for them. Those are things that you guys need to watch out for. Do not give out your credit card information. They're gonna keep trying to be consistent. I'm trying to help you. For how long? Why don't you get Cash App? Do you have a social security number? So he gave me a social security number. I'm not going to say it, of course, but I'm going to double check to see if that social security number is correct, right? And if it is correct, then okay, then it's safer. But let me remind you that these companies take people's social security number. They take people's information, right? So building a company that is safe is the only way that you can trust. Because they're taking your information. And if these companies are not protecting you as as a customer, then you can't trust them. I mean, this guy, I didn't give him my Cash App. I didn't give him my WhatsApp. I recorded every conversation we had. He is an employee of Geico. I called the Geico number, and he told me, hey, we can see your case right here. We can see the pictures. You're not at fault. And I recorded it. And I'm going to show you the recording of it, right? And so, let you hear it. And so I call that, he tells me that they don't answer. They're like, we're going to call you back. You have to pay $100 to get the $14,000. I say, well, I don't have $100. Luckily, I didn't have $100 because they could have ran off with it. The thing is, the reason why you need a lawyer is because these people are going to take so long to pay you. Another thing is to make a claim, to file a claim. Like they said, Geico has an app. You can't do it over the phone. They have an app, a system where you can do claim, this and that, put the claim number, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So there are ways to do it. And I'll show you guys that process later. Doing all this over the phone, their own employees could be fraudulent, could be coming from foreign countries they hired because of desperation or because they hired a manager and the owners just abandoned the employees. That's what they do. And they let them do whatever they want in hopes that they will do the right thing. And a lot of them end up not doing the right thing because they fall short on staff. They don't have the right employees. Let me tell you, Geico is not a poor company. Geico is like $1 billion company. Whatever you see on there is basically just the wrong artist they hired, you know. They don't have somebody that's able to build the company's website, make it informative, not just, hey, buy this, buy that, get insurance. Insurance companies make billions of dollars because it's not every day that people are getting into a car crash. So the times that a person is not getting into a car crash, they're cashing out every month. Right? So we're doing an investigation to see if this guy is legit or not.
We'll give it a minute.
So this is Bank of America. Okay. This is Bank of America. So what happened here was that I gave him my login information, but I changed my password because I'm looking in my fridge and I'm like, I have no food. I'm running out of food. I'm desperate. He's the only one providing food services. I'm waiting for my card for food stamps and everything to come in. Let me tell you, it is illegal. So Donald Trump must be a fraud. He's a fraud. He is a fraud. It is evidence that this man is fraudulent. That's it. It doesn't matter what you did. It's what you're doing for the country to protect it. You keep talking about this. You guys keep talking about the same thing, repeating the same uniform, the same, buying new clothes, but where is the money really going? And not even just the money, the brains. People, you can give people money, but if you don't give them the brains or the proper employees, and you say, why are you guys hiring this? Well, have you provided legal immigrants or citizens to be able to make America safe again? What are you doing in your free time? Playing basketball? This is playing football, playing soccer. None of this stuff is sensible. You're getting older. What are you going to do? Who's going to be your caregiver when you lose your strength, right? Because you're not eating well, obviously. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to be, I don't know if the word is practical. I'm trying to be for real with you. The realities of it is that you are spending more time taking care of all these people just to be nice, using your heart. You think I have time to promote Donald Trump if he's not doing anything for us, for me, for us, for the country? You keep talking about what you did in Iraq, but who is going to do the work down here? Don't post useless comments and post about blame the Democrats. There is no blaming the Democrats. You're not 5 years old. You're a grown-up, a grown-ass man. No offense, but you are a grown-up. You have had years on you. What have you been doing with those years? Okay, you built the company, but now you're collecting funds, but are withholding funds as well, right? From government systems and authority, telling them, write down that what these people are supposed to be doing. Yes, that's why. Yeah, that's why he said Kamala is poor, is bad, because voting for Kamala is not going to make anything better. Why? Because she hasn't proven us. Let's do our research. So I'm getting ready to just stop talking to this guy. So we're going to check his social security number first to make sure everything is right. If it's real, they could be using somebody else's social security number. And let's see what's going to happen. So let's see where does Kamala live? Miss Kamala she's not a rich person. She's a poor. She has a house, but that's all she has. She doesn't have much. So she's probably going to try to build herself up before she could build the country up, right? So let's see what Miss Kamala, we're not saying that you have to have all this, but you have to have some level of control over the military, over the people, know what you're talking about to be a president. You can't just be a president. So let's see. Kamala does a lot of laughing. I don't know how she made it up there. Okay, see? As of 2026, Kamala Harris does not own a private business. Her wealth and assets primarily consist of real estate, specifically a house in Brentwood, California, shared with her husband, Douglas Imhoff, along with investments in diversified funds, pensions from her public service, and royalties from books. Okay. Key assets, which is not a bad thing. She previously owned a condo in Washington, D.C., which was sold in 2021. The couple currently owns a home in Brentwood, California, purchased. Okay. According to financial disclosures, her portfolio shifted to focus on ETFs and property after her husband sold individual stocks to avoid conflict of interest, notes IG.com. Pension of savings. Her long career or prosecutor, attorney general, and senator resulted in pensions estimated in 2024 to be worth roughly $1 million, plus significant retirement and savings accounts. Says this. Okay, income resources. Her income has come from her salary as a public official, San Francisco District Attorney, California Attorney General, U.S. Senator, Vice President, and from book publications. Okay, according to this YouTube. So yeah, Kamala Harris's financial background is centered on public service. I see, with her net worth bolstered by her husband's former income as a high-profile attorney in their joint real estate. So she has a pretty good background when it comes to taking care of the community. That's a really good skill to have. But I don't understand why Donald Trump thinks she's just not a good. I know why I think so, because when it comes, maybe it's because of what social media does. Social media will post something bad about someone, especially in the times of election, just to make you look so bad. And then, but Miss Kamala, guess what? She got up there and she started to pay celebrities to do shows. Instead of spending money on the system, on the government. That's how you're going to win. But paying celebrities off so they can perform. Celebrities are known to be the biggest scammers in the United States. They use social media allows them to do fraud, to scam people. I've seen it. They do Apple fraud, all that. Justin Bieber did it. Zach is doing it. And I think if Zach shows up, then he's not a criminal. Then he's just, let's see if he's going to show up. Right? But Justin Bieber did it, and they're all doing it. All the celebrities, that's why they all have more. And they're all criminals. What, you don't even know what they're doing to these children in their private homes, in their mansions. A lot of illegal activity is going on in their mansions. Justin Bieber probably prostituting his son with Haley. It's crazy. They don't have a sense. They don't have any sense. They don't have any brains. They don't have, at least she has road, but she can do more than road, right? If Rihanna's got road and Rihanna's got the clothing line, and at least she got something going for herself. And then Rihanna got a nonprofit organization, which we don't know if she's getting funds. She's getting funds, but her riches are gaining, but the poor are not getting anything. So they build these organizations, they get funds from the organizations, and they fail to give the people what the people need. That's why it's important when you get these gifts. When Brilliant Corners signed me up and put me indoors, I started to promote Brilliant Corners because I just checked and I said, okay, check. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Now, what's Good Seed up to anyway? What are they up to? I haven't gotten. They get money from the government, but I haven't. Why is my bill? Why are they taking too long to pay my bill? The bill that they're supposed to pay, that Brilliant Corners told them it's their turn to pay that bill, that they're supposed to get from the government. What are they doing? They're busy housing people, but they're not maintaining the people that are housed. You have to maintain the people that are housed so they don't get evicted. If you don't buy them the things that these people are getting a lot of money from the government, and they're stealing these funds. And they say, and she says, I'm accusing you of stealing funds because the paperwork is right here of how much this money is supposed to be my money. I'm supposed to have a stove. I already have a stove. I moved in a place where you don't have to build. So that money goes to my account. That's my money. That's not the property's money. I have a recording of Cameron saying that he doesn't have to give anybody the cards, bus cards. They have to give people bus cards. That's why they give them to you. You have to give them gift cards and bus cards. Where are my gift cards? Where are my bus cards? You're supposed to mail it to me. If you can't bring it to me, you mail it to us. Every month we're supposed to have those cards. That's why we have to take them to court, because they're stealing funds. You have to sue the companies. Now, Miss Kamala being vice president, I don't know, because if Donald Trump doesn't approve, but he's approving of me, it's because I'm more informative than she is. I don't know what she got up there to do. Well, and then I didn't just talk. I did some booty shaking, some dancing. That's it. And it's talk to the man the way man desires to be talked to. No big deal. And then let's get back to work. Right? We never had sex in real life, nothing. It's not a big deal to me because there's a bigger picture. I'm thinking about the bigger picture. If Donald Trump dies today, who's going to be president? Who's going to run this? That's not going to take advantage, that really actually cares about the system, about the people. Right? Everybody's safety matters, not just the Republicans. This is not just a Republican. We're sick and tired of seeing Republicans flashing their money and not investing. They're investing just money, but they're not investing. They're assuming that the Democrats have the brains. They don't, because they don't even eat well. You have to illegalize meat eating, change the food industry. But before you can change the food industry, you have to say no to the food that you're eating, because they're eating it with you. If he doesn't believe that he should stop eating meat, he's not going to change it. If he doesn't believe that chicken is harmful, he's not going to change it. Donald Trump is the same guy that literally said, don't wear a mask when it was coronavirus. He chose to take off the masks. How stupid and ignorant and unsafe is that? Why did he say that? Because there's a big chance he was having a hard time breathing. Another reason is their masks. Masks cover people's faces. When people cover their face, They're more likely crimes are more likely to happen. That's what's probably what he was seeing. Right? When people were able to wear a mask, anybody can go in the store and shoot up the place. So that's probably why he said no mask. But you know who's the biggest criminal? You guys. You're the ones with the money, and there is no money, and these people and that's why Biden was allowing them to bring illegal immigrants. They say we're not safe anyway. We might as well take a chance. That's what he did. He took a chance. And you took an opportunity away. We're not saying that we don't want illegal immigrants in here at all because they don't know what they're doing. Citizens and permanent residents are the ones that know what they're doing. Coronavirus happened to put you in the same situation as the poor. That's why it happened. They said disease doesn't just pick a side. It picks anyone that is not careful, anyone that is becoming a threat to other people. That's karma. And I'm pretty sure all the stuff that happened to me was from the suicide attempts because I have no resources. Whose fault is that? Donald Trump, the Republicans, the Democrats that are probably stealing, but they're probably stealing because they need a better way to live. They need a better way to live. Doesn't make it okay. You don't see me stealing. I'm desperate, but I'm not stealing. I'm not running to rob any banks. I'm not. I'll be a prostitute before I could be a thief. Prostitution is not illegal, and it will not be illegal. It will not be illegal, not until you guys find out how you could build programs. I don't see why prostitution should be illegal in California. With all these billionaires in California and nobody is making a difference. Skid Row's been looking like that for years. Everybody making promises to make a difference and become what is it called? A mayor, but never makes the difference that needs to be made. No more partying. Government shutdown means no more bringing people here to party. We don't need you to come here party. First, we need the brains. We have the money. You have to take these funds. Elon Musk selling his cars. You can't sell your cars here anymore. Sell them somewhere else because we don't need it. We don't need it. We like the Tesla cars, but if they were cheaper, because now you're getting all the money, but you don't know what to do with the funds. You're just selling cars. We need more than cars. People, imagine someone gets hit by a Tesla car. The big one. Right? If you want to be a part of America, you have to be a part of the government system. Billionaires using Donald Trump says, they're donating billions of dollars and they can do whatever they want. Who is above the law to be able to? I'm not even above. God is not even above the law. If the law is correct. If the law is not correct, then he's above the law. Then we're above the law. But if the law is correct, then you can't possibly be above it. You have to follow the rules. There is a reason why rules exist. When you're crossing crossing the light, you have to follow the rules because there is traffic. There is traffic. If you don't follow the rules of the road, you're going to get hit. If you don't follow the law, you're going to go to jail. Now, the fact of the matter is to investigate what the law is. And everything here makes sense. Everything that comes out of my mouth, I double check and I'm like, yeah, that I was right. Everything, I don't read it, then I have it. I have it in my system, in my spirit, in my mind, because I am the system. I am the system. We are the system. Eve is the system. So this is naturally in me. So when I read it, the people that wrote it are part of the system. So I'm like, okay, check. That's correct. I got that right. I'm not wrong. Whatever is wrong, you're supposed to tell us. How is the system fucked up? You guys are the ones that are fucked up because you're not eating well. The system is not fucked up. It's the presidents that's fucked up. The presidents, the people. The presidents that made the difference, that created Social Security programs, it wasn't Donald Trump who did it. He's getting credit for work he didn't do. That's what makes him a fraud. And yes, take him to jail, arrest him. If you can, you have that power. Let him go to jail until he confesses his crimes. I don't feel like I don't feel like he's not a criminal. I feel like he is. No matter what he says at the end of the day. But like I said, you can't put pressure on one man. You have to talk about there is a whole White House. Donald Trump does not live at the White House alone. So what is everybody else doing?
It's gonna be the numbers 360
Uh-huh.
419. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Give me 1 second. And the biggest frauds right now are these Indians. Of course, they have white frauds, black frauds. The Indians are the biggest fraudulent people, and it's not them breaking the law in the country. It's saying you're trying to help, but I told you you can't help me by trying to access my computer. You see, I have brains. You see, I got content. You see, I got this. You're trying to fraudulently steal my content because you're hired by a bigger person to steal my content. Somebody hired you to try to get into my account. Because he says, I'm trying to make money. That's what he's saying. And that's why you have to sue them. You have to sue them even more money. It's like, I'm trying to help you get more money. So he's doing this probably to try to help me get more money. When you hire people like this, it's because you guys are being selfish. That's why your own employees are turning against you because you're abandoning them. Okay, we got it. I'm in there.
Fantastic. Very good, Miss Sandra. Very good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Remind me your name again, please.
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, thank you so much. And it's time to start giving last names. For your support. You have a wonderful day today, okay?
You as well, Ms. Sandra, and thank you for being a loyal client of Bank of America since November of last year. And once again, I will keep you in my prayers for a healthy and speedy and fast recovery. And everything is going to work out with your lawsuit as well, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. We're keeping you in prayers.
You as well.
Okay, bye-bye. Spectrum is my mobile carrier.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Those are all really great things to know is the phones, because they said that the reason why they put a restriction on my account when it came to logging in is because I was logging in from 3 different phones. So it's good to know the kind of phones that I'm logging in. So that's a good security system to be able to know, because he's trying to log in, but his computer was slow. So when they have different computers, Apple's good because he's trying to hack my computer, but I was using the iPad. My computer is locked. So if I try to if I would have given him that, they probably know which system to use, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, and did you enroll you mentioned that you updated your passcode earlier today, so I thank you so much for that. Mm-hmm. Did you also enroll in the Face ID biometric today?
Yes, I did.
Perfect.
Another thing is, why hasn't Donald Trump invested in better computers, Apple computers, for the police department? A lot of the times, the criminals, the police department, if it doesn't have enough proper uniforms, proper food, proper computers, they can't catch criminals. So they're you guys are trying to you investing just not enough money into in the police force to do their job. The military has money, it looks like it, but upon looking, it looks like there are people that are not eating properly.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, one last question. Have you shared your online banking credentials with anybody else?
But we don't know if the military has a lot of money because Sade is a business owner. She has more money than Steve. Steve has connections with the government, and Steve is taking advantage. I mean, Sade was taking advantage of Steve's benefits, veteran benefits. Veterans have benefits. The government pays for veterans to be able to go to universities, colleges, etc., etc. So when Sade married Steve, she ended up profiting all her college. And you know what? See it as an investment in the black community. They deserve that. They earn that. But the problem here is she's just acting like all the other white kids. You know, when the government invests in you and you start choosing to try to wear high heels and walk in their shoes and do the same bullshit that they're doing. The difference between Sade and other people is that she's actually built a therapy system. She's not like other rich white kids that become rich and do nothing with their time. They do nothing at all. They don't have no real businesses. They're just rich. It's stupid. At least she has a therapy program, social therapist, a degree. So that's a pretty good investment. Just my login information, yes. And then I changed it. When I realized, I looked up, I did some Googling on fraud and like I did with ChatGPT. So Steve is just like doing the same thing. And then Steve is the one that's not a really good person anyway. He's a veteran and we appreciate that. But Steve gets there and he's not supporting me. He's forcing me to work when I can't work. Sade was investing in me. So he wants to come in and break up my relationship with her because she wasn't giving me enough. I don't know what to say about all this. All I could say is that even if she's investing in me, she still could have done more, you know? And that's where Steve came in. I was going through the works. He wasn't trying to give me $100. He was trying to make me work for it. Sade gave it to me. That's why I wanted to be with Sade. These guys are crazy. Can somebody steal my information? I don't want to be with someone that's going to make me work for anything, especially when I told you I'm disabled. Sade never made me work. She never made me eat her out. She never made me do anything stupid, anything nasty. Never violated my privacy. Never made me feel unsafe in her own home. Nothing. She never gave me an attitude. If I need food, she provided the food services. No arguing. Sandra, I'll get you this. Sandra, I'll get you that. Steve, can you give me a blowjob? You know, even if he didn't ask for a blowjob, can you give me a groin, massage my body? And then when we get there, he can't even grab me some fruit. So who's really evil, Steve or Zach, or Sade? Steve. But because he's a veteran, we just don't talk too bad about the veterans. But you want to be cold, you don't want to be generous, I can't even talk to you. I'm talking to the person that's generous to me. You don't know me, and you want to argue with me. You want a wife, but you want to play tit for tat. To break us up because of your personal issues. The whole thing is that Sade should have been more lenient. Nobody's going to be if you don't love the guy, let him go is the thing. If you don't love him, don't make him feel uncomfortable or unsafe to do something, to help, to invest, right? Because if I don't love a man, because you don't want him to give me resources, that's what you don't want. If I don't love a man, I'm not gonna hold on to him. You can go ahead. I left the other guy. I'm like, you can go. person claiming to be my friend says they're going to pay my credit card bill. And so they said, I'm going to pay your credit card bill if you give me your login information. I could be able to pay it. And I said, why don't you just send me the money on Cash App? He says, I don't have Cash App. I don't use Cash App. So I said, well, I don't know. I was like, okay, well, all right. So I gave him my login information, but I changed my password the first time so he doesn't have my original password, right? And so I changed it, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe if I change my password, then I look into the research on what somebody can do if they log into your Bank of America, right? What kind of information is in there? Is there valuable information that can, so they were saying like people use credit card fraud to do fake checks or things like that. So I realized, so when I read that information, I quickly changed my password before he was able to log in. So he said that his computer was updating, and that's what took him long, but that gave me enough time to change my password. So at first he was trying to log into AnyDesk to have access to my computers. Right? So he's saying download AnyDesk so that I can give him permission to have access to my laptops. It's crazy. Right?
So your friend is more or less a hacker.
He's not my friend. He's a hacker, because this is what happened. I got into a car accident, and I called lawyers, and I signed paperwork with Gaslamp. And so as Gaslamp is getting me a loan for money so I could have food, so I can go to the clinics and stuff like that, to my appointments, to do my clinics, my basically get better. Because when you file a lawsuit, you have to have hospital records and things like that you've actually went and gotten the care that you need. So that's part of the care. And I'm also taking medication. So I'm a person with a disability. I only get disability, and I get EBT. But so I was running out of food and things like that. So I told the law firms that I need food to be able to take my medications, to meet my appointments. I need Uber rides, etc., etc. So Gaslamp gave me $1,000 loan, approved me for $1,000 loan so I can be able to get food. But then I think somebody from Geico, who is the insurance company of the guy that hit me, basically said that I think they told them that I already settled, but I hadn't settled. So instead of them doing research on that, they basically just send me a message and said that we're dropping your case because they said you're settled. They didn't say that in the paper, but I called them and I said, how come you guys are dropping my case? They said, somebody said you settled. And I said, did you get any paperwork, any proof that I settled? Nobody can verbally tell you that I settled. They have to show you evidence of the settlement. Right? There has to be an envelope, a paycheck, or a cash transfer. That's what I did when I got when Torque Law took my case, and my last case, they put the money on my car, on my Chase Bank card, because I was with Chase Bank at the time, and they sent me all the information. I had to sign an electric signature, and I said, how you guys can't just drop my case and you don't have any evidence. And so I called the first law firm that I was with, which was BD&J. I called BD&J and I asked BD&J who was getting me Ubers to get to my appointments, and they were supposed to give me a food card, right, from Uber Eats. Mm-hmm. But the attorney denied the request. And when the attorney denied the request, I was like, why did they give you a reason why they denied the request? They didn't give her a reason. So she said, I'm going to keep talking to the attorney. I said, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to argue with the attorney about food. when you look on their law firm, they talk about they help people with food, their clients get to where they need. But when it came to me, they denied it. So I left. And it makes sense to turn down that kind of attorney, because they're not going to represent you properly. They're going to give you the lowest compensation, because if they don't want to give you food, they're not going to convince them that you were injured. They're not going to defend you well. They're not going to give you what you're worth, because they're being petty. You cannot be with petty lawyers. Petty lawyers are frauds. Them. I said, you know what? You can drop the case. I don't feel safe. This was a real accident. I'm not at fault. I have videos. I have evidence. We're going to drop this case. I don't want you guys to handle my case, because I don't trust you, because you don't want me to survive. Meaning you're not giving me food, and I'm asking. And they're the ones that requested. They said, do you need anything? And even, I didn't ask. And sorry. And even with Morgan & Morgan, at least I didn't tell them anything about food. They didn't say anything about food. At this point, I'm like, don't even worry about the food anymore. Just focus on the case. Let's just get the fucking case done. I'm not going to request, but I'm just going to try to tell them it makes a lot more sense for you guys to maybe they're profiting off of people's deaths. That must be the case. It makes more sense for you to build a law firm that is going to provide food, and that's what BD&J was representing. But they hired this attorney who is the parasite of the company. The attorney that's the parasite. Are you being a bad? We don't want to talk about all the greatness that you have if you are being petty over fucking food. Food is not a gold. Food is gold, but it's just food compared to how much money you're making, how much money these attorneys are making. You know what I mean? And they're making this money off of people that are wounded. You're not the one that got hit. And I bet you the work is not even that heavy. A lot of the work that I did most of the work. I'm not saying like they're not doing the work. They're representing us, because legally it's better when you have a background of law firm, because they take you more serious. So that's why it's important. That's why they come in. That's why they defend you by law. They know the law. That's why you need an attorney, or else the insurance company is going to take advantage of you. Right? But you can't have an attorney that doesn't care about your life. You can't. They don't care. And that's the first sign.